So the unit circle, whoops, the unit circle is going to be a circle in which has a radius of 1, which all the points around it are a distance of 1 from the center, that center being the origin. So this black dot right here is the origin, and all distances from the center circle are 1. And so from this, we can draw our different angles here. So the easiest one, knowing that this is a 90-degree angle right here, we can go by increments of 45, which would essentially mean splitting this in half, splitting each of these 90-degree angles in half here. So I'm going to draw these in purple. And so what we're going to do here then is now we're going to have, this is going to be 0 degrees right here. I'm going to draw it in black to be neutral. And then each 45-degree jump in between each of these axes, this x-axis here and this y-axis here, they're going to be, these are going to be neutral. You'll see why a little bit later. But I'm going to label these going around, and then I'll cut to that. All right, so now we've labeled that, and just because it's kind of a hard cut, just so you guys can see it, is, of course, we're starting at 0 on the right-hand side, and with each jump here, we're going plus 45. That's all we're doing, plus 45, plus 45, and so on and so forth, all the way over here. And so the next thing we're going to have to worry about are our increments of 30 degrees. And so starting off here, of course, 0 being our neutral, that's going to be our starting point. And then this next jump here is going to be plus 30, so 30 degrees. Now here's the important part. We're not going to care about the 45 degrees. That's why it's in purple. When we're doing the 30-degree jumps, all we need to worry about are splitting each 90-degree section into thirds. And so splitting here and here. If you want an approximation, once you do the 45 degrees, then you can almost just draw a line just splitting these two sections in half. That doesn't actually work, because of course this would be 30 degrees and this would be an additional 15 degrees. So you can maybe draw the lines closer if you want, but in terms of just drawing it on a piece of paper for your own reference, or for like a quiz or anything like that, then that's completely fine just to do that. But yeah, so then we're going to do another 30-degree jump over here to 60 degrees. And then of course to our neutral or intermediate of 90 degrees, and we're going to keep doing that. So I can cut to that once I finish that. All right, so we finished filling in the 30-degree increments. Just again, from 0 to 30 is plus 30. Same within the 30 to 60 over here, plus 30. Again, from 60 to 90, plus 30, and so on and so forth. And this is how the pattern is going to look like. And the really cool thing about these intermediates here, these 90-degree intermediates, is that they're covered by your 45-degree increments, which would be your purples, and they're also covered by your 30-degree increments, which are your reds. And so at any time, if you're filling this in and you see that one doesn't add up, so if you just, if say like instead of 150 here, this was like 140, I accidentally just did my math wrong, I would see that 140 plus 30 is not 180, and so it kind of indicates to me that either this value is wrong or this value is wrong. And obviously we know that this value is wrong here, the 140 degrees. So it's a good way to check yourself. Hey yo, sorry for the cut there. I just completely forgot about including negative angles into this unit circle before jumping to the next part. And so in this yellow line here, we establish a positive angle by starting at the right horizontal over here, and then working our way counterclockwise around the unit circle. This is because we're starting from the first quadrant on the top right to the second quadrant on the top left, third quadrant on the bottom left, and then fourth quadrant on the bottom right. And we're working our way around the unit circle in this fashion. And so that would be, I'll just keep these here. And this would be our positive direction. And so, of course, our negative direction will then just mean going opposite of this. And so, starting from our same starting point, but now going clockwise around the unit circle, instead of this 330 here, its equivalent negative value is going to be negative 30 degrees. For 315 here, it's going to be negative 45 degrees. And you can see, continuing this pattern, this negative 300 right here, or this positive 300 degrees is going to be negative 60 degrees. And you can see something quite interesting, in which actually this negative angle, a quick and easy way around this would just be to do a reflection across the x-axis over this way. And so let me clear up the board a bit. And so instead of calculating this to be, okay, well, this is the first increment of 30 degrees, this is the 45-degree increment, this over here is the 60-degree increment, and so on and so forth, we can just say, hey, well, we already have all these angles here. If I want to know where let's say negative 60 degrees is, well, I know 60 degrees is right here. Let's just do a reflection across the x-axis and see that, all right, negative 60 degrees is equivalent to this 300 degrees spot. If I want to figure out where negative 240 degrees is, I could just jump across the x-axis here, do a reflection across the x-axis, and this would be negative 240 degrees. And if you really want, you can always just double check yourself and say, okay, well, let's start from our starting point, right here, right on the right-hand portion of the horizontal x-axis, and going across here, this is 90 degrees. This would be negative 90 degrees. Another jump across here. This is another negative 90 degrees. And then we're going to do a minus 60 degree jump across here. So negative 90 minus 90 minus 60. I guess if we want to be mathematically correct, we'll say negative 90 plus negative 90 plus negative 60. This right here is negative 180 minus 60. This is equal to negative 240. And so we can see that this angle right here, which is the equivalent 120 degree angle, is negative 240 degrees. And so that's just quickly going over the positive angles in which you're going from the first quadrant to the second to the third to the fourth, and then back around again, and then the negative angles, which is the opposite of that in a quick and easy way, which is to do a reflection across the x-axis. So that's it for the angles. And so, like I mentioned before, we'll be heading over to another unit circle in which we'll go over the coordinates. So see you there.